Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and the return to the channel of one of my favourite people from the Sudoku community and also one of the world's greatest Sudoku constructors. The puzzle on the screen is by Qodec and it's called Dustpan. I don't know why. But this has been this puzzle has been recommended to us several times in the last couple of days, and it has an enormous approval rating, so I am looking forward to having a go at it. Although the only aspect of that gives me pause for thought is that I have read the rules and we have got the dreaded disjoint subset rule going on, which is my bete-noire. So Qodec, thank you for that. And we'll see how I get on with that in a moment or two. What do I need to tell you about today? I haven't got much news, actually. I've got some birthdays to tell you about. I'm going to say happy birthday to Marussia Dark, one of our, one of the great viewers of the channel, frankly. Mark and I both got a copy of Marussia's book as a present. We've had presents sent to our snail mail addresses as well. And in fact, I did mean to get a picture of the chocolate cake. If I remember, I will try and dig that out, because Marussia sent me a copy of the chocolate cake that's going to be enjoyed today. And yes, I am very jealous about that indeed. Anyway, happy birthday, Marussia. Next, Gabrielle has turned 20. Actually turned 20 yesterday, but I only got the message this morning. I'm sorry about that, Gabriel. It could be Gabriel as well, actually. I don't know. I'm thinking more Gabriel than Gabrielle. Yeah, no, it's Gabriel. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Anyway, Gabriel, I'm going to go with that, is over... lives in Mexico, but has been studying economics in Glasgow, which is quite a long way from Mexico. And Gabriel, I hope you're able to. Well, I hope you had a brilliant birthday yesterday. And I'm sorry I'm late with my birthday wishes. And then finally, an interesting one, Christian, who's only 16, but is over visiting London this weekend from Italy, staying in Notting Hill. A big fan of the channel and is looking forward to seeing our capital city today. Well, I hope London delivers a super day. Let me look out of the window. Looks like it's going to stay dry, so enjoy the museums, etc. And thank you, Christian, for your kind email. And then the only other news I've got is successful solvers of the Glum Hippo Sudoku Hunt, which is our February reward over on Patreon. Very well done to Daniel Cox, Sir Crumblecat, Maverick has taken off from the local airfield, Ashley Hunt, Daniel Demicky, Amit Sharma, Jeff Litch, I think. It could be Leach. I'm going to go with Litch, actually. It could be Leach. Michael Noonan, Craig Anderson, Palath Goyal, Andrew Jiang, Penty Pulkinen, Sam Lin, Pamela Skinner, Balint Rago, Zone Bone, Morgan Karbuski, the Luke Skywalker 2, and Matt Boyack. You all sent in the correct entries. Very well done. And we do have, it's only a couple of days away now, the Alice in Sudoku Land hunt coming for you on the 1st of March. So do look out for that. I'm going to tell you that hunt, I think, is easier than the last 3 hunts. The quality is right up there, but I think overall it's easier. So if you are a patron of the channel and you think you'd like a shout out, and you want to be in with a chance of winning the competition, now is the time to get your pencils sharpened. Anyway, let's have a look at what Dustpan by Qodec looks like in terms of the rules. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells marked with a circle show the number of digits with the same parity as that circled digit in that cell's 3x3 neighbourhood, including the digit in the cell itself. And then there's an example, because that's quite a long sentence. If row 1, column 1 is a 1, all 3 cells surrounding it must be even. Now, as I read that, I don't quite understand that. Hang on a moment. So we look around the circled digit. Oh, I see. Right. No, I do understand it. Right. We have to look at the parity of the circled digit. Now, in this case, this is an odd digit. Now, I meant to use orange for odd numbers, aren't I? So this is an odd digit. And what we're being told here is that the number of, therefore, odd digits, because the circle is odd, the number of odd digits in the surrounding cells is 1. So the other 3 must be even, and we use blue for even because I think that it's the best colourblind friendly colour with our palettes orange. So, okay, let's try another example just so we understand this. If that is a 5, what are we saying there? No, let's do an even number. We'll make it... let's make it 2. If this is 2, we're saying this is even. So within that 3 by 3 area, there are 2 evens. Oh no, hang on, that's even itself. Okay, so there's one more even, and then the rest would be odd. Now we don't know where this even could be. It could be in any of the 8 cells surrounding this one. Right, that's okay, but at least I think I understand that rule now, which is probably going to be helpful. Yeah, and here's the disjoint rule. Digits cannot appear in the same relative position within different 3 by 3 box regions, e.g. row 1 column 1 and row 4 column 4 cannot contain the same digit, as they both represent the top left cell of their 3 by 3 boxes. So those 2 digits have to be different. And what that means is if we take any position within a 3 by 3 box, so this is the central cell in each of the 3 by 3 boxes, in effect these central cells have to be a set of the digits 1 to 9. They have to be the digits 1 to 9 once each. And why do I find this difficult? Well, it means that, you know, when you're looking at this square here and what it can be, you'd have to take into account, if that was a 9, that cell couldn't be a 9. And obviously if you're used to scanning Sudoku, you'd look at this column, you'd look at this row, and you'd look at this box. It's quite hard to make yourself look up there for that digit, or this one, or this one, or this one. And yet in this puzzle, that is exactly what we have to do. Do have a go. Qodec puzzles are always a complete joy. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking and let's see what the great man has got in store for us. So let's firstly start with this, because this is telling us something. Well, yes, in fact it is, because it is saying that in the 3 by 3 that surrounds the 6, which is those cells, there are 6 even digits, because 6 itself is even. So instantly we get a great raft of even digitage around the 6 here. So that means we can't have too many even digits in these circles. And the reason I'm thinking that is if we look at row 1 and row 2 together and ask how many even digits we're expecting there to be, the answer to that is 8. Because the digits 2, 4, 6 and 8 are the only Sudoku digits that are even. So there's going to be a 2, 4, 6 and 8 in this row and a 2, 4, 6 and 8 in this row. So that's 8 even digits altogether, 6 of which have been sort of compressed into this little rectangle. So we can only have 2 more, which means that... Yeah, okay, I've just noticed something else as well, which I'm going to mention while I've seen it. There's definitely, if you look at the top left cells of every single 3 by 3 box, they've all got a circle in them. So that means, well, that's instantly making, well, what it means fundamentally, because of the rules, is that these digits are all different. But that means one of them is a 9, and I suppose one of them is a 1. So, because one of these has to be a 9, imagine that was a 9, it's going to be completely surrounded by odd digits, because 9 is odd, and all 9 digits would have to have the same parity, which is going to be hugely constraining. So in fact, we could say now immediately that the 9 is in one of those 4 positions, because you can't put 9 digits, because there simply isn't a 3 by 3 around digits on the perimeter of the grid. The same is so the same is true of 8. So 8 and 7 have to be over here as well, because again, any digit, these 5 digits, they simply don't have enough digits surrounding them to be 7, 8 or 9. Right, so these digits on the perimeter now have to be from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We've established that none of them can be 6 because that would repeat a 6 in the disjoint. And these two are under some sort of pressure because I can't have too many even digits. Yeah, okay, neither of these can be 1 because 1 is odd, and that would effectively be saying that would be one odd digit in that collection, which would be the 1 itself, and there would be 5 evens around it. So if we made this a 1, all 5 of those would be even, and we would have rather too many even digits in row 1 and 2. We'd have at least 11, and there are only 8 available. So that doesn't work. We could get rid of 1 from both of these. Now, if one of these was a 2, then I think it does work. Because the 2 is even. It would be saying there are 2 evens. Although that one, okay, hang on, I might have to think about this one in a minute. I'm just thinking that, yes, 2 would work between those cells. If this was a 2, then those cells would have to contain all of the even digits in row 1 and 2. All of those would have to be odd. But how do you... that's playing with my brain. That doesn't feel possible. No, because to make all 4 of those digits the same, don't I have to put 4 in there? And that's even, and that would make more even digits. Okay, all right, let's start in the corner. That's probably where I should have started. That sees only 4 digits, so it simply cannot be a 5. If it's a 4, it's saying all 4 of those digits are even, and that puts 10 evens in the first 2 rows. That doesn't work. So it's 2 or 3. And it would give us a 3 in the corner immediately if it was a 3. If it's a 2, then no, okay, yeah, this doesn't work. It's not 2 either. It's a really strange rule. But if this is a 2, we're saying 2 of these cells are even, and therefore 2 of them are odd. But we've therefore got all of our even digits in rows 1 and 2, and there would have to be no even digits in those 6 cells. But that's impossible because there's simply no digit we can put in here that will allow all of those cells to be odd. Even if we try, there's just no way, because obviously we're having to, this digit is telling us about the parity as well of the surrounding neighbours. So if you can't put 6 in there anyway, but if you did put 6, it would be saying all of them are actually even. So the only way of making 6 cells on the perimeter the same parity is using the digit 6. So that is a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. So that's saying that, well, it's odd. Let's start with that. In fact, that's odd. I'm going to make that odd as well. It's odd, and it's saying there are 3 odd digits in this little 2 by 2. So there is 1 even. So we've now got 7 evens between these 10 cells. So we can only have one. Well, we can only have 1 more even. Oh, this is a 5. This is absolutely forced, because we've got 7 evens of the 8 that we're acquiring for the first 2 rows. If I put 2 or 4 in there, that's giving us a count of evens that's either 9 or 11, and that's too many. So we must put 5 in there, which is odd. And now we've got 1 even there, 1 even there, 6 evens there. That's all the evens. So these are both odd. Oh, bobbins. I'm so stupid sometimes. Okay, I've just noticed something very, very, very simple. In any Sudoku box, there can only be 4 evens. And those are 4 evens. So I could have immediately done this. Sorry, I didn't spot that. Okay. I suppose I take 5 out of these cells now, do I? Yeah, that's interesting. that can't be a 1, because that would be saying there was one odd number in that little section, but the 7 means there would be at least 2. So that is even. Aha, that's even. That's 2 or 4. If it's 4, that's fine. If it's 2, that's fine, I think. Oh, bar humbug. This might be where it gets much more difficult. If that was a 1, if that was not a 1, you'd have a 2-4 pair here. So these cells would account for 2 plus 4 is 6 even numbers in columns 1 and 2, plus 1 in there is 7. There would be 1 even down there. Okay, that's not going to be a sensible thought, is it? Whichever one of these is even is going to complete the evens for its row. So if that was even, all of these would be odd. No, okay. Okay, it must be something to do with the 9, I think. That can't be a 9. Because remember, wherever we put the 9, we're just making a massive 3 by 3 of oddness. And that's going to be too many oddnesses in row 3, because there are only 5 odd numbers. So that's not odd. Well, no, that could be odd, but it's not 9 if it is odd. That can't be 8 by the same token. Because if that was 8, we'd be saying there are 8 even digits in that 3 by 3. But 2 of the cells in it are already odd, and that's going to make that count impossible. In fact, maybe what I meant to do... Oh, Mark would be very pleased with me if I do this. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. It's against my better nature, but I think the angels are calling me to fully pencil mark these squares. Now, we worked out that couldn't be 9. We worked out that couldn't be 8. If this one's 9, can't see why that's impossible. So the 9 is either there, there, or there. Okay, maybe we try even digits in these 3 columns, because we've already got... I don't think you can put 1 into either of these squares. Because if you do, you're effectively, it's the same as putting an 8 here, isn't it? If you put 1 here, you're saying there's 1 odd, but therefore you've got 8 evens. But the 3 columns together will only have 4 per column of even digits. So there are 12 even digits in these 3 columns. And if you put 1s in either of those, you've already got counts of 14 even digits, because you've got 8 plus 6. So those are not 1. They could be 2 or 4, I think. Although if they were, that would give us a 1, 2, 4 triple in the disjoint. Oh, you can't put 8 here. You can't put 8 here because that's getting us to a count of 14 as well. Aha! So now... Right, so now we've definitely got an 8 in one of those 2 cells. So either this 3 by 3 or this 3 by 3 is surrounded mostly by even digits. Right, so again, we can take... Oh, that is a really gorgeous codec. That is really gorgeous. So we know where 1 is in the disjoint. Because for the same reasons we were having trouble with 1s over here, we're going to have troubles with 1s over here. If this was a 1-8 pair, we'd have both 3 by 3s effectively containing 8 even digits, which is 16 even digits for 3 columns, which is far too many. So there's no 1 over there, and now the only place for 1 in the disjoint is here. And I can do some shading from this, because this is odd. It's the only odd in its surrounding 3 by 3, so all of those turn even. So that's 5 evens. So now this can't be an 8, because if that was an 8, we'd have 13 evens in 3 rows. It's the same problem. There should only be 12. So that's not 8, which means that that is the 8. And that is therefore even, and it's surrounded by a great plethora, a floodplain of even digits. So we've got, there's 1 even there around the 5, 8 there, that's 9. So that can't be a 4, or that's going to get us to 13. If this is 7, we get to 11, and then there would be 1 even down here. Okay, that might be possible. Okay. So, how do we do this now? Is it going to be... So if that's 8... How... Okay, yeah, got it. If this was 2 or 4, it would form a pair with this cell. And it would add 6 more even digits to the 8 there and get us to 14, which is too many again. So that's not 2, 4. This is 7 or 9. So, so this has either got 2 even digits in it or 0 even digits. But now it could be 7, couldn't it? Because that would give us 2. That would give us 10. That could still be a 2, and that would get us to 12, and it would make both of those odd, which would make all of these even. Okay, what is it that I'm not spotting here? What about... Okay. What about that domino? That is catching my eye now. Let's greenify that domino because we can say something about this that's quite important, I think. That domino cannot be 2 even digits, because if it was, we'd have 5 even digits in box 4, and there's only 4 in box 4, obviously 2, 4, 6 and 8. So one of those digits must be odd, and that's the only odd digit that surrounds the 8. So we get loads of yes, we do get loads. We get loads of even digits, and that's lovely for 2 boxes now, because this box has got its 4 evens, so all of those turn odd, and this box has got its 4 evens, so all of those turn odd. And now, well, okay, we know one of these is even to get to our quota of 8. So that's the 4th even in this box. So all of those turn odd. And at any moment now, we're going to get a run of 5 odds. We've probably already got it somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. One of these two... Well, this is another green domino. So if we make our green dominoes one of each colour, this is a green domino because of the 5 clue. We need one more odd digit to get to a count of 5. So this one of these is odd, one of these is even. One of those is odd. One of these is odd, one of these is even, just to complete the correct count for row 3. So we've now got... Well, okay, so between the cells that we've actually placed in box 1 at the moment, we've got 3 of each digit. So 2 of these are odd and 1 of them is even. Somehow that's not somehow that doesn't tell us the answer. Do I know what that number is therefore? That's counting... Oh, goodness, I hadn't understood that at all. Right. That's one of those things that I love about puzzles like this. It's so simple once you give it the moment's thought it requires. These two cells are a 4-5 pair. And in fact, that one... Oh, that's it. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, my goodness me. That is absolutely lovely. Why do I think these are a 4-5 pair? Well, it's because in any 3x3 box, well, any central square that's surrounded by a 3x3 box, we know the count of odds and evens around this square, because there must be 5 odds around it and there must be 4 evens. So the only thing that tells us what this cell actually is whether that cell itself contains an even number or an odd number. But these are in the disjoint, so these are one of each. But this one is actually, we know that that's even because of its parity. So that's 4, which means this can't be 4 because it's in the same central position in its 3x3 box. So that's 5 and is therefore odd. And that means well, it means 5's in one of those cells. I'm sure it means more than that. Hang on a moment. It means that there's a 5 in one of these cells by sudoku, because this can't be a 5. So there is a 5 in the corner. There we go. A 5 in the corner by sudoku. These two cells are one of each colour, but I don't really think there's a good way of notating that. Right, we've got one of each, one of each, one of each. So these cells here are 2 odds and an even. So I think that makes this have to be odd. So let me just check that. In this column, that's one of each, that's one of each, those two are one of each. Yes, so we're only allowed one more even here, which completes the evens for the box and makes this odd. So if this is odd, oh, these are one of each is what we're all we're learning there. Okay, sorry. Do I know more about that digit now than I used to? I do. This can't be 4. I simply cannot put 4 even digits around it. Sorry, that's probably been available for ages. So this is not a 2, this is not a 2, that's a 7-9 pair in the disjoint, which makes that a 4. Wow, so that's even. These two are definitely odd because they contain 7s and 9s. And oh, okay, where does 2 go in box 5? That's a sensible question. We can do the 2 and the 6, look. Simply by sudoku. So there's a 2 in one of these cells. This square here is a 4 or a 6. This square here is a 2 or an 8. Ah, oh come on. Well, no, this very much still could be 9, couldn't it? And be entirely orange. Is there a problem with that? What about this one? If that's entirely orange, then that would be even. That would be even. Okay. Where is it that I'm meant to... Oh, I see. Alright, I can do something in this box. Where does 4 go? It's not there by sudoku, and it's not there because of the disjoint. So 4 goes in the top position there. So these two squares are a 2-8 pair. Now, have we got a 2 in the middle anywhere, or an 8 in the middle anywhere? No. Well, no, but we do. But we do have a 2 there on the left side, so that can't be a 2. So that's got to be 8. That's got to be 2. So we are having to be very careful here about, it's not really surprising, but about the disjoint to make this work. I haven't really thought about this being a 4 either. If this is a 4, I've got 4 evens in that section of the grid. And I've got 5 here. And I'm allowed 12, aren't I? So, if that was 9, I'd have 5, 4, and I need 3 more evens there. But that's not breaking, I don't think that's breaking column 9, is it? That's only 3 evens. So there's something I'm not quite grasping about. I'm sure there's a way of disambiguating the 7 and the 9 here. I just have to figure out what it is. Or what else could it be? It could be that 2 of these squares are definitely even, I've just seen. That's not a 2 by Sudoku, so one of these squares is definitely... Ooh, that square is odd, but only because it sees all of the even digits. It sees 2, 4, 6 and 8. So that is odd. So we're still... Well, the only way this is now a 7 is if both of these squares... oh, that doesn't work. That's it. We've done it. Wow. So we had to appreciate this square was odd. Now, if both of these were even, this square would have to be a 2 by Sudoku, because it sees 4, 6 and 8, and it can't be a 2. Oh, so in fact the way to get it is to look at this square, isn't it? That square is under the same pressure as this one. It's lovely that there are different sorts of logic going on in order to fix all these things in place. So now we're in business. We've got, well, or are we? Now we might be in business. We've got quite a lot of, well, we've got all of our disjoint sets for the top left corner digits done. We now know we've got 2 evens here, 5 here, that's 7, 4 here is 11, so there is 1 even digit in this string of cells, and 2 odd digits. So if there's 2 odd digits in these cells, that's the whole number of odd digits for this column. So those 3 digits are all even now. That completes, it gives me a 4 here. So it completes the evens for this row as well, and therefore that cell is definitely odd. So we can ungreenify it and make this one into an even cell, which can't be a 5 now. So that digit and that digit are 6s and 8s. And that's right, that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. Right, if that's a 6-8 pair, you can't put 6 here because that's the same position. And what it will repeat in the same position within a box. So that's a 4, that's a 6. 4 is now in one of those positions. Now, can we use the disjoint? I don't think we've got any 4s on the bottom of boxes, so I don't think so. Or we can say there's a 6 over here, look. Is that helpful? 6 is on the right-hand side of boxes? No. 4 is in one of those cells by Sudoku. How many 4s have we actually got? We haven't got that many. We've got a 4 down here in one of these squares. So if that was a 4, then that would be a 4. And that would be a 4, which is slightly strange. If this is a 4, then this is a 4. I don't know if that's... this. I think all of that might be fine. What should we look at next, do you think? Where is there an easy win for where we should focus our attention? Can we... come on, Simon, think, use your brain. What could it be? No, I was about to make both of those orange on the basis of the 9. That's not how the 9 works. That cell can't be a 2. We need a 2 in this column somewhere, but this one can't be the 2 because it would repeat, so that's definitely orange. There's probably lots of little rinky-dinks like that we could find if we just study or hit upon the right square. Yes, okay, I'm going to do the same thing for that cell on that basis, because that cell, on the face of it, you might say, well, it could be a 6 by sudoku, but were it to be a 6, it would make one of these cells invalid by the disjoint. So that cell cannot be even. So it has to be odd, which means that cell is even by the power of our greenliness cell. So that digit is now a 2 or an 8, and that's rather clever, because that means these two cells are a 2-8 pair in the top right-hand corner of boxes. So in the top right-hand corner of boxes now, the only cell we could have that would be even would be a 6, because 4's gone and the 2-8 pair's gone. Does that help us? Probably not. But we've now got all our evens for this row, so that's got to be odd, which means we know this is even, which means it's a 6 because it sees 4, 6 and 8. Now we could use this to say that 6 is in one of those two positions. Can 6 be here? Probably. Oh, this is where I'm just going to die on this puzzle, isn't it? Trying to figure out the disjoints. Oh no, come on. Raining outside. It is raining outside. Oh no, goodness, Christian, I'm sorry if this affects your day in London. Okay, what could we do now? This column, we've got quite a lot in. We need 4, 8 and 9. I don't think... Do we have a... No, we don't have a 4, I don't think, in this position. So those squares are 4, 8 and 9. And unfortunately, I don't think... We know very little about the odd numbers at all, do we? Maybe I've got to think about odd numbers. I've got a 3 up here, but that's literally the only 3 I've got in the grid, which is slightly terrifying. I've got 2 5s. Oh, 3 5s. Okay, maybe it's 5s. Let's have a quick look at 5s. I know there's a 5 in one of those two. Does that help me? There can't be a 5 in the middle or the bottom right position, so that can't be a 5, which we could have already got from Sudoku. That can't be a 5. No, that's no good, is it? Okay, so any cell in the grid that's a top right cell that sees a 6 has to be odd. But I don't think that digit does see a 6, does it? Okay, maybe right, so I think probably I've got to think harder about the 7 and the 4. Is there more we can say intelligently about these? We've got 6 there, 4 there, that's 10. So 2 of these are even in the bottom. 2 of those cells are even, and 1 of them is odd. But that That doesn't feel very useful to me. I think the bottom rows of blue squares are very ill defined at the moment. Whereas cells like that might be under more pressure. That definitely sees a 4 and a 6 by disjoint. So I think that has to be 2 or 8. That's even, so that can't be 9, so that's 4 or 8. So there's a 9 in one of those two cells. If that was a... Oh, hang on. No, these are both even. That's it. Oh, Simon. I filled these in with 4, 8, 9 and didn't take account of the parity. You've all been shouting at me about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's huge as well, actually. Look, that's given me that digit. And it makes this one even. Well, maybe it's not huge, but it is huge. 8 sees that one by disjoint. That's 4. So this is 8. So this is 6. This is 8. Good grief. That 4 sees that cell by sudoku. Whoopsie. So we can bluify this one. That's completed our blues for this column. So that becomes odd as a result of that. How many 4s have I got? Ah! No. How many 4s? Loads. I don't have a... Oh, I can fill in the 4 here. It can only go there in the box. So I've now got all the 4s. That is lovely. So now I've got a 6 in one of those two squares. Can we rule either of those out by disjoint? The answer is... don't think so. That square is a central square. So it's not 2 or 4. So it's 6 or 8, I think. No, it's 6 by sudoku. It's got to be a 6 because the cell above it doesn't seem to be able to. So that could be nice. 2 or 8 here, 2 or 8 here. And we've got... Okay. Okay, so now I'm looking at the 7 clue. And I'm wondering, I think we've got to allocate 1 even there and 1 even there, because if either side was double even, which is possible given the 7, but it isn't possible in either of these columns. So that becomes a green domino, that becomes a green domino. That therefore has to be odd because we've got all our evens for this column. That has to be odd, we've got all our evens for that column. So this is 1 of each. So this is 1 odd and 2 evens here. And 1 odd and 2 evens. That corner digit is not 4 or 8, so it's 2 or 6. Let's check the disjoint positions, and they are useless. What about... 9. I'm going to go back to odd digits again. There's a 9 in one of those. So there's a 9 in one of these. Is that helpful? I doubt it, actually. That feels a bit like clutching at straws. We could... I've got a 1-7 pair in box 1 because I've got the 3, 5 and 9 already placed. 9 has to live in one of those positions, but none of those are affected by a disjointed 9, I don't think. Okay, so it's probably still even digits we've got to worry about, but it's I'm far from sure, and I haven't really audited, you know. So for example, have I got... No, I haven't got... Where am I putting an 8 in the middle of a 3 by 3? I haven't got one of those yet, so it's either this one or this one is an 8. But unfortunately, I think everything is possible. Have I put an 8 at the top in the top cell of a box? No. Oh, okay. Those two squares are a 2-8 pair. So I have in effect put an 8 there. If that was an 8, neither of those two squares could be an 8 because they'd be in the same position. So that's beautiful, I think, because in this box I don't know where the 8 goes, but I do know it's in row 7 or row 8. So the only place left to put an 8 in the bottom row seems to be there, which makes this a 6. Those two cells therefore have to be even. I know one of these is therefore my 2, and it can't be in the middle because that's a 2. Ooh, I don't like the look of this. I thought I'd already had a 2 at the top of it. It does seem to be okay, that. I don't seem to have had a 2 at the top, so that becomes even. That becomes odd. Therefore this becomes 8. That gets me a 2, an 8, an 8, and a 2, simply unwinding. That's got to be odd by the power of completing this column. That's still a 2 or a 6. I've got 2 even digits around this, so I need 2 more. Is there any restriction on where they can go? I don't know. Can that be a 2 in column 7? The answer seems to be yes. I haven't had a 2 in that position. So one of those is a 2. Oh, and is it one of these is a 2 as well? I bet you it is. Oh, that's so annoying. There's a sort of weird X-wing of 2s left. Okay, alright. So what about 6 then? Can we do 6 instead? Oh, we've got a funny X-wing of 6s as well. Oh, that's so annoying. Is that really true? Wow. Wow, okay. One of these is an 8. So that's going to contribute to the total of this 4. Oh, it's not that one by Sudoku. I've got an 8 over here now. So that's 8, which means that gets bluified. These squares see all the even digits, don't they? So they're odd, that's even. Actually, let me just get my colours up. That's even, so that must be a 2 by Sudoku. Which means that this square is odd. I've now got all my odds for this column, so that's even. Yeah, I don't think that's surprising given what we were finding with 2s and 6s actually. And all we've got to do now, is it this 4 clue? One of these is odd, one of these is even. I don't know if we know which way round, and I guess it's the same at the bottom. It is the same at the bottom. Sorry, quick interruption. Had to take a phone call there. It was Mark actually, so I thought I'd better pick it up. And what were we doing? We were getting on okay. So we've greenified this, and all we've got to do now is I could be getting another interruption. It sounds like could be a little person. This is always a risk at the weekend. No, I think little person's gone away. Right. Anyway, I've got double distracted. We've got 2s and 6s. We've got. Yeah. Okay. So now we can. What can we do? There's a 7 down here. I can see. Let's put that in. And we can, there's a 7 in one of those 2 cells. No, there isn't, because there's a 7 there. So already we're in the world of trying to manage these nonsense disjoint rules. We've got 7 up here now. 7 in one of those 3. I'm desperately looking around to see if this well, no, that is true. That is actually, look. There is a 7 in one of those, but that 7 does work again and knocks a 7 out of this one. So there's a 7 in one of these 2, which I fear that might be as far as that trail takes us. No, that 7 sees that one by disjoint. Good grief. I mean, this is the sort of thing that can just waste you when you're solving, because if you miss one of these tiny little points, you'll just be there all day. Okay, so that right, that 7 does that 7. So how many 7s have we got now? 1, 2. We've got quite a lot. We've got 6, I think. Can we do any better than that? I'm not sure. 7 in this box. Yeah, okay. Where does 7 go in box 6? The answer is not there very specifically because of that 7. So there is a 7 on the green domino, which knocks a 7 out of here and gives me a 7 there. Now I've got 7 7s. Oh, I see. And I've got sort of a domino of 7s in the bottom left corners of their boxes. So if that's a 7, obviously by sudoku we're going to get 7s, but these dominoes are going to complete the disjoint set of 7s that must exist in the grid. Okay, but I earned a 1 here, didn't I? So 1 is in one of those 2 cells. Now let's check 1s. We've only got 2 1s. They live in positions 1 and 6 of boxes. And I'm trying to see what that means. Positions 1 and 6 of boxes. I can't see how to do that. What about how many 9s have we got? We've got 2 9s. I've got, right, let's look at 9. 9 has to be in one of those 2 positions, which, right, is no. 9 is in one of those 2 positions. Oh, look, that's a 3-9 pair in box 7. How many 3s? We've got our 3 in the corner, but we've only got 1 3 in the grid, which is a problem, isn't it? So 5s? I've got a few 5s, but okay. I suppose there has to... Right, in this box, where does 5 go? And the answer is not in the middle square because of that 5. So it goes in one of... Oh, no, it doesn't. Hang on. No, sudoku. Sudoku on 5s is useful. Here. 5 has to go in that cell, I think. I'm just going to double check that. That can't be 5 because of that. That can't be 5 because of that. Right, 5, we get 5. Right, so 5 in the middle box goes there, which means 5 in box 4 goes here. So 5 is in one of these 2 positions. 5 is not in the middle again. Right, so 5 goes here. Now, do I know about these 2 cells? And 5s. Don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. 5, what about 5 in box 9 though? Because it has to be in one of those 2, and I must have a 5 in... No, that 5 doesn't do it. Oh yeah, look, that 5 does do it. That 5 sees that cell. This is why I'm terrible at these puzzles. So that becomes a 5, which means that seems to have to be a 5. That took the pencil mark position of a 9. Yes, where does 9 go in this box now? It's only got 1 position left. Now that's going to do everything, because that being odd, of course, means that we can orangify it. That one must be blue now, which completes the blues for this column. So that must be odd, which means it's not 2, and that's going to have to be even, which means it's not 7. God, this is going to be massive. So that's going to become the 7. That's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 6. That's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 6. That's all our evens are now done. All your base are belong to us. That becomes a 7 by sudoku. How many 7s have we got? All of them. How many 5s have we got? Lots of them. Lots of them. And we can get that one as well. Let's put that in, double click again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got all the 5s, all the 7s. We've got to put 1s and 3s into this box. I can do that by sudoku. So that becomes a 3. That becomes a 3. Oh, we could be... Actually, I don't want to speak too soon. I'm not going to say anything yet. But it is looking better. It's looking like we might get somewhere here. Come on. This is 1 and 9. Yeah, we can fill those in. That becomes 1. That becomes 9. This is a 1-3 pair which we can fill in. That must be a 9. We've not put 1 in this column. We've not put 3 in this box. We've not put 9 in that box. And suddenly it's done, I think. Yay! The dustpan has been filled. And it... I was wondering, is it a dustpan? Because, hang on. Maybe I'm meant to view it something like this. You know, and that might be its handle coming out there. Is that why it's a dustpan, Qodec? You will have to tell me. But what I can tell you is that puzzle was absolutely lovely. Start to finish, a complete joy. The sort of, you know, it's a little tiny bit of arithmetic, isn't it? Quite a lot of very unpleasant scanning, boo hiss. But it's, yeah, no, I jest. It's just always elegant, as you'd expect from the great man. So an awful lot of fun had on a Sunday. I hope you had a go. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.